What's up, guys? Welcome to tuning in to another episode of Terrible Towel Tuesday. I am your host, SimFBallCritic, and let's jump right into it, guys. You know I try to get done right before 1 p.m. Eastern, so let's dive right into it. Now, there's a few things to talk about, really not a lot in terms of things that we can go into depth with, but we have a few things to talk about. A couple updates I just wanted to give real quick. I did learn, guys, I did find out that Roethlisberger, not Ben Roethlisberger, Le'Veon Bell did actually show up to the facility last week. Remember I was saying in the last week's show that it would be nice if he could come out and, just be a part of the team, even though he's, nursing an injury. We all understand that he's rehabbing and things of that nature. It would be nice just to come out, be a part of the team, a part of the camaraderie. And yes, lo and behold, I did find out he was in the facility. I'm not sure if he was there this week because, they did their annual, day out, team builder, if you will. I know they went to Dave & Buster's, I want to say yesterday. Not sure if he did that, but either way, man, it was good to see that Le'Veon did show up, come out. Good stuff there, all right? Definitely good stuff there. Now, another thing I wanted to talk about real quick, man, I'm hearing a whole lot of information, positive things about TJ Watt. I keep hearing that he's, above the neck, like Tomlin likes to say. I keep hearing that, mentally he's grasping everything. You even hear Arthur Moat say, listen, this dude's learning curve is not steep. Everyone is saying how much he's grasping the concept. The defense that he ran in college was very similar in terms of, the actual defense. Terminology obviously is different. The NFL may show a few more wrinkles, but he even said that himself, that he felt comfortable in Pittsburgh because of his background, at Wisconsin. It's very interesting, man. And the reason why I wanted to point that out, we still have to wait until they get pads on. Obviously, this is football in shorts. Nobody really knows. I mean, you can see somebody's athletic potential as well as you can see, obviously you can see and hear, or if you will, where their mental game is. But it all comes down to training camp. When you put on those pads, that's when you're going to get your final assessment. But early on, man, I will say this. From what I'm hearing, it makes me go back against what I said about who's going to start. TJ Watt might have an actual chance to start opposite Bud Dupree, which we know will be on the left side. He may have a chance to start over James Harrison. And here's the reason why. We all know even 2 years ago when James came back, the intention of James Harrison would be just to monitor his snaps. Give him a little bit of rest here and there, rotational guy, situational guy. You remember Joy Porter even came out and said we're going to look to get him like 20 to 25 snaps, something like that, keep the snap count down, and use him in prime and key situations. Pass rush particularly would be what you would look for, right? But if TJ Watt is able to come in here and grasp everything right out the bat, we may be able to go back to that. Couldn't do that last year because Jarvis Jones just didn't pan out. We had to end up starting James Harrison. James Harrison was outplaying him even with less snaps. So they had to end up starting James Harrison right around the time when they made the change. And then, they took William Gay out of the outside, from the outside. They put Artie Burns out there, let him start full-time. They start allowing Sean Davis to start full-time. And right around that time, the same thing happened with James Harrison. He became the main guy. Not saying he can't do it, but why not, if TJ Watt is capable, why not allow him to start and then do what we intended to do with James Harrison for situations? Because it's going to come down to this. It's going to come down to TJ Watt, his run fits. How well he plays the run is what it's going to come down to, because obviously you draft him to be a pass rusher, right? Now, you would like to assume that you'll be able to rotate him and James Harrison in pass rush situations, nickel package, things of that nature. First down, first and second, but really first down mainly in the NFL, where you expect a run, short yardage, things like that. That's going to determine, in my opinion, whether TJ Watt will start, in the base defense, is how his run fits are. because you would think maybe James Harrison is a little better than him right now in that area, just because of, knowledge, the awareness of the actual scheme, and, his veteran pedigree. So we'll see. But like I said, man, I keep hearing a ton of things about grasping everything mentally. That's always a good start. Same thing with Cam Sutton, and we're going to talk about Cam Sutton here in a moment. But yeah, that's some good news right there, man. To see that the young guys are coming around. It's always exciting this time of year because you have these expectations, but y'all know what I'm all about, man. I'm sure you guys are about the same thing. When those pads come on is when we're going to know something. So let's get right into it, man. Roethlisberger's road struggles. Very interesting, man. And this has been a key problem, in my opinion, for the last couple years. Really saw it last season. But here's a question that I pose to you guys, man. I want to make this more of an interactive, type of show today for you guys who are watching live. And then also you guys who are going to see it in the archive. You can always, put your comments in there. I'll reply to them like I always do. But here's the question. Is it Roethlisberger or is it the receivers? Particularly last year. It was a carousel of receivers opposite Antonio Brown. Did not have Martavis Bryant. You have Sammy Coates, who did pretty decent early on, became one of our biggest deep threats, right? Dismantles his finger or two. Doesn't produce the same way after that. You don't really have another guy who's going to take the top off the defense, or at least give him that illusion of the deep threat, right? So you have guys like DHB. He gets injured. He goes down as well. Then, obviously you got Eli Rogers in the slot. And you got, just Kobe Hamilton. You don't really have the guys that you would really want to lean on, in terms of being that, that solidified number two on the outside, right? But then you have to look at how Ben Roethlisberger plays also, because to me, it's kind of 50-50. Some of it is on Ben. Some of it is on the receivers. Think back to the game when Ben threw that interception, throwing it to, I believe it was Ladarius Green against Buffalo, I want to say. And it just seems like he was lost. He ran the wrong route, or he gave up on the route, or what have you. It was intercepted. It was easy to see that. You saw that happen a few other times with some of the other receivers, right? You saw some lackadaisical efforts by Sammy Coates. We saw that even late in the season, even in the playoffs. Seems like guys wasn't pushing all the way to the ball, right? Now, you got to look at it like this. Ben Roethlisberger is also the type of quarterback, and I've said this quite often. Ben takes a lot of chances. And for the things that you love Ben Roethlisberger for, it could be the same things that will upset you. Sometimes he just tries to force it a little too much. And then there's other times where I feel like we take the deep shot too much. It's just my opinion. I could be totally wrong. That's why I want to hear what you guys have to say. And I see my man Still34 is already written a comment, so I'm going to read that here in a moment. But yeah, y'all know that, man. Ben Roethlisberger will go deep. And I know it might be a play design, but a lot of times, again, once the ball is hiked, the quarterback has the final say. You either go to that deep guy, the post, or the fly route, or whatever they're running, or you check it down. Hit somebody else. Now, how many times have we, sitting on the couch, looked at replay, and we can see where Roethlisberger could have checked it down? Could very well have checked it down, or somebody else open across the middle, but he just takes that deep shot. And a lot of times, that is the reason why he throws a lot of interceptions. His interceptions have gone up over the last couple seasons. I mean, Roethlisberger's interceptions are sky high. He's averaging like 14 picks a year for the last 2-3 years. It's not good. It's not good at all. And we can't have that. But like I said, do you think it's more Roethlisberger or the receivers? And it just seems like you would have to put a lot of blame on Roethlisberger because, like I said here in the title, on the road, like what is happening with Roethlisberger on the road? What's going on? I mean, this dude is, I would still say, an elite quarterback in the NFL. I would still be happy to have him on my squad. But what is it, guys? I want to hear from you guys. What is going on? Why does he struggle on the road? Why do you think there have been struggles on the road? I would point at this. Maybe it is because it just so happens to be the teams that we're playing on the road. They're doing something different, different defensively, trying to take away Antonio Brown. I want to lean towards that, but that happens almost every game. So I can't really lean towards that. Maybe the run game is being stifled. You want to lean towards that. You can't really lean towards that because look at how many games Le'Veon Bell was able to do his thing. I don't know what it is, man. I definitely know for the last couple seasons, his road record has not been good. And it just seems like he falls apart. And what I think it is my opinion. I think Ben takes too many chances at times, and he doesn't go for the safe play all the time. He looks for the home run a lot. And hey, when it works, it works. Again, I am not bagging on Ben Roethlisberger. I love Ben Roethlisberger. I love everything he's been able to do for our Steelers. I love the way he plays. He's going to fight to the end. He's tough. He's hard to bring down, but you're going to have to live with some of the times that he forces it. I mean, think like, Brett Favre. Brett Favre was the same type of person. If you were a Packer fan, you would hate him 1 minute, love him the next, because he's going to let it rip. But I think that's what it is. I think Ben doesn't look for the safe play a lot. When you look at some of these other quarterbacks, even guys like Tom Brady, they do it very, very basic. They take the shot when they have it. Think about when we played them, when Landry faced them, when we were in Pittsburgh, right? Was doing pretty good on defense, doing very well. And then all of a sudden, late in the late third, early fourth, then they finally take that shot to Grunt. It's like they set it up. And I think we get away from setting the thing, setting the plays up, in my opinion. But that's just me. But let's move on to the next thing. Well, actually, no. Let me see what some of you guys are saying about Ben real quick. Excuse me. The receivers for sure. No one was stepping up after Coates. At tight ends were meh and best. Yeah, Ben was delivering but had no support. Yeah, it's definitely part receivers. Not saying that Ben had no fault, but most of it was the receivers and the tight ends. Okay. I've seen many times last year where Ben was forced ball. Yeah, definitely forced balls to AB. We definitely saw that. That's right. He takes a lot of chances. He makes me so mad. That's who he is. However, when it hits the big play, we're happy. Yeah, Tony, you're right. I mean, we got to take the good with the bad. Like I said, it's like the Brett Favre syndrome. If you were a Packers fan, you knew, or even when he played for the Vikings, you knew at once, every now and then he's going to throw one in there and it's going to get picked. Even that last play in that championship game, who they playing? The Saints? And he tried to force that slant. It's going to happen. That's certain quarterbacks are like that. You said, I say it's 70-30, 70% receivers, 30% Ben. Ben has really only had one reliable receiver. Yeah. So I definitely agree with you guys for the most part, man. I think it could be 70-30, could almost be even 60-40 maybe, but it's definitely both of them are to blame. But it's just my gut from what I see. Ben takes a lot of chances and he needs to start spreading the wealth. Sometimes guys are wide open underneath. Stop. And we all saw it last year. There were a lot of times he's trying to force it to Antonio Brown. Come on, man. We got other guys on the team. You have to keep going to them, even if they're not catching it. We got to find out. So, come on, we got to open it up a little bit. So, moving on real quick, man. We're almost done here, guys, because I got to hurry up and get up out of here. Contract news. Now, I keep hearing a lot of people, not really a lot, but you hear these reports come out by some of these beat writers saying that the Steelers are trying to put the squeeze on Alejandro Villanueva. You guys know the big left tackle that we got, 6'9", great player, great teammate. He's becoming a great player. He's still learning. Here's my opinion. In no way, shape, and form do I think the Steelers are actually doing that. However, what I do believe they're doing, they're conducting business. They got this guy pretty much locked up. They have offered the tender to him, and he needs to sign it. And there you go. It's just like how Ross Cockrell was playing on the tender as well, a couple other players. But they pretty much control his fate at the moment. He hasn't signed it. Obviously, he wants another contract. why wouldn't you negotiate? Not mad at that. But to think that the Steelers are trying to put the squeeze on them, can't go as far as saying that. But what you can say is it's business. The Steelers still got to worry about Le'Veon Bell, which, let's not forget, $12 million franchise tag. They've all said, both Bell and even Art II has said himself, we all want to get a deal done before the July 15th date. So we still got to worry about that, which I don't want to say who's more important and who's not, but come on. They got to take care of that. They got Stephon Tuitt, who's coming up. They got Ryan Shazier, who's coming up. So if they're not jumping right at Villanueva to get him signed up right away, I can understand that. I can understand them stretching it out, having conversation. Because, again, this is business, people. We have to remember it's business. But to accuse them of putting a squeeze on them, that's just crazy to me. That's just absolutely crazy to me, man. Like, I don't know. It's just funny, man. I know this time of year there's not a lot to talk about, so people got to find something to talk about. But at the end of the day, how I look at it is business by the Steelers. They got him playing at a very low cost. He's probably playing way better than his contract right now. And they're going to take their time getting that contract done, considering the fact that they have other people to worry about right now who rightfully, you could say, is probably a little more important. Give Villanueva another year to prove itself. You know, he took a leap last year from the first year. Now let's see if he takes another leap and plays that contract out. Also, let's not forget this. They could be in negotiation. They could very well be like, look, we're going to try to get Bell done or whatever we're doing. We're going to come back to you. We'll get something done during the season. You know, it's the OTAs, man. It's not even, the season hasn't started yet. And you're talking about a guy who has played well, yes, but still trying to prove himself. I don't even understand why that's a discussion. Why wouldn't you let him play right now? What they paying him, like $600,000 this year? Why wouldn't you save that money, being that you're going to basically have him under that tender contract? Come on. That's a no-brainer. But then again, we don't know. Something might happen. All right, so the last thing I will talk about here, man, is I'm hearing news again about Cameron Sutton. This makes me very happy because, you know, there are reports coming out of OTA saying that Cameron Sutton has been very disruptive and aggressive. What they're referring to is he's made a couple interceptions, but the aggressiveness they're saying is that he has been attacking routes, like basically reading the coverage, reading the route and jumping it and making the right play, breaking up passes, picking it off. I love that. Now, of course, you know, you don't want to be too overzealous as a DB because you know what can happen to you, but the best do that. I mean, come on, Deion Sanders, that was how he lived. Sometimes one might get by you because you jump it, but it is what it is. I love aggressive corners as long as you're not giving up, you know, plays all the time or always getting beat, because there's a difference with somebody who jumps on everything and somebody who gets a feel or a knack for what's about to happen, read the route, jump it, and make a play. I love what I'm hearing from him because what I'm also hearing, and I know, guys, I know, and no need for me to be cautious, optimistic about this one, but I understand. But I am hearing that Senquez Golson is looking very fast and healthy. Again, I know saying that is like, what does it mean? Because we've said that the last couple years. But it just lets me know that there may be some real competition in the slot, which will push William Gay on out the door, which I'm hoping. Excuse the noise in the background. Got my grounds people out there cutting grass or what have you here in the neighborhood. But that makes me very excited, man, because, again, here's another guy, like I said about T.J. Watt. Cam Sutton is another guy that they're saying mentally he's above average. Like he's progressing much faster than a lot of other guys that you've seen, you know, at this time of the year. So I cannot wait until these guys get deeper into the process, you know, and put some pads on to see what happened. I mean, I saw Senquez Golson's interview, and he's saying how hungry he is to hit and things like that. So it could make for some great competition, as well as Cody Sensabaugh. I don't think Sensabaugh has a chance to beat either one of these guys out if they perform the way they should, but we'll see. But very happy about that, man. You know, it's always good to hear these little tidbits. Like I said, it is, you know, football in shorts, but it's always great to hear these little tidbits, how guys are looking early, because even though they're not hitting or anything like that, you can definitely get a feel for how a guy can cover and or catch as a receiver or get open or shut someone down, depending on what position you're talking about in shorts, because that is definitely a position or two positions that you can go head to head and see how these guys perform. Both Sutton and Allen has been impressive. So who knows, man? What if by the time preseason starts, what if we looking at Sutton in the slot and Brian Allen opposite Artie Burns? Something to think about. I don't know. I'm just saying. I like the fact that the corner position has depth to it now. Now we just got to see how guys perform, because that's what it's all about for me. We got to get that pass rush has got to improve a little bit, and the cornerbacks got to even help out the pass rushers by giving a little more time. So they got to work together, and I think the defense can be okay. A couple guys have asked me, do I think we can be back in the top 5? I don't know about this year. We'll have to wait and see. To me, and I know this is a little bit of low expectation, but I'm just looking for us to be within the top 15 to 10. That works for me, because y'all see where we have been during the season the last 2 years in the 20s. Can't have that. I think if we can creep back up in the 15, 13, 12, 11, something like that, maybe fall under the 10, top 10 range, we'll be okay. You expect the offense to do their job. So we'll see. But here we are, man. It's wrap-up time, guys. I'm right here at 12:55, so that's probably going to do it for today's show. But let me see exactly what else you may be saying real quick before I get out of here. Could be the play call. Yep, Chris Bryant says could be play call. You guys do. Yep, could very well be. Let's see. Haley and or Ben aren't calling enough run plays on the road. Yeah, you know what? That's something too, man. That's a good comment, Remy. That's something that I noticed as well. The play calling does seem to change a bit. One would think no huddle has something to do with it. You don't really get to run it as much when you're not at home. Maybe you could do some silent count stuff, but that could factor into it as well. So it could be a couple different things. I think Ben lets the gunslinger mentality go to his head a lot. He does. He definitely does. What else you guys got here? Sim, you spoke his name. You have to knock on wood now. I know, man. Knock on wood. Here you go. Bud Dupree and Watt will have to work. Absolutely. What's up, Sim? Dang, I'm late. No problem. No problem, Tay. Check the archive, man. I got started at about 12:30. I'm gonna try to, maintain that time every week, if I can. So no biggies, man. You can definitely go back and check the archive there. And somebody says, tell William Gay goodbye, please. Yeah, Remy, I actually absolutely agree with that, man. I mean, listen, I don't hate William Gay, but I just think his time is up. His time is up. I do not want to see him in the starting lineup unless William Gay has this like rebirth year and he's playing out of his mind. Okay. But he gonna have to prove that to us, for us, any of us here, to be happy with that kind of decision. So we'll see. But that's my time, man. I got 3 minutes before I got to get back to my day-to-day. Appreciate you guys coming through. You know the routine, man. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I got plenty more coming in regards to the Steelers. Not a whole lot of topics right now, guys, obviously because of the time that we're in. But I got much to come for training camp, through the season, et cetera, et cetera. And make sure you cut on your notifications so you do know when a video is available as well. I promise it will never hurt you to hit that like button. So, all right, guys, before we get out of here, I'm going to give you a here we go Steelers, swing the towel. And there you have it. Catch you guys next week. Y'all be safe. Peace.